Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be making a video about my health journey and specifically my passion for running. And I can't even believe those words are coming out of my mouth because I used to hate running so much. I just associated it with punishment. But now, fast forward about 10 years from my first run, and I am an ultra marathon runner. I have ran many ultra distances, including a couple 100-milers, and I've also walked the whole way from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail, which was a hike that took around 5 months for me to complete. So I've done some incredible things with the help of my friends and my family, and also due to having faith in something bigger than me. And I just thank God that I've been lucky enough to do those things. My hope for this video is that when you're watching this, maybe you can apply some of the same things that I applied to my life, and it could also help improve yours. This is not me telling you to go be an ultra runner or to be an endurance athlete or anything like that, but I do definitely think that a huge problem with today's society is that we're too stuck up in our heads and we're not really living in the real world. And I think my most effective way of actually getting out of my head and into my body is by movement, by stepping outside and embracing the greatness of life instead of the fake fabrication of social media and phones and stuff like that. So hopefully this video can help you if you are interested in getting into any of these things. I'll talk a little bit about how I got into it myself because I think that may help you if you're interested in getting into running or in any other form of exercise. But pretty much I was just in a kind of unhappy place in my life. I was smoking and drinking and partying, and I never was really addicted to anything, so I can't relate to anybody who's struggled with addiction, but I just knew that I was not happy and I wanted to make a change because I wasn't feeling good about myself and I wasn't looking good either. And I was lucky enough for my mom and my sister actually to step aside and bring this to my attention. And that might be a sensitive subject for some people. Of course, it really hurts when somebody kind of points out a flaw in you, but I'm so glad that they did. They did it very gently, and it was enough motivation for me to go from just wanting to change to actually changing. So I started running, and I was always avoiding running because I always just thought it was so hard, and I thought it was just nasty. But that was the one place that I kind of hadn't really looked at, and I just dove right in. And I started with 1 to 2 miles about 5 days a week, and then eventually that just started to grow incrementally. And I will say that I think if you're trying to start anything new, whether that's fitness related or not, that is the absolute most effective way to actually see progress. Because if you start off with these huge steps, you might discourage yourself, you may hurt yourself, and you are also maybe just trying to shortcut what you really need to put a lot of work into. So I've applied the same method to my guitar playing, and it's made a world of a difference. When I'm learning a riff or something that's really difficult, I will slow it down and make sure that my form is correct and make sure I'm playing it perfectly, but just slower. And then I'll just grow the beats per minute incrementally here and there. And then sooner or later, I'm flying, and I may even be playing it faster than I even wanted to. So I would highly advise doing that if you're trying to get into anything fitness related. I feel like there's also a sense of reward when there's measurable variables that you can track. So soon enough, I was doing 6 milers, 7 milers, and then all the way up to 10. And at that point, I had already lost a lot of weight, and I wasn't really doing it for just my physical well-being, but I kept it as a habit because I noticed that it was really benefiting me mentally. I was able to think much clearer. I was filled with so much more energy and so much more confidence. And I said, okay, I want to hold on to this feeling. So I kept with it, and I think that that's the most valuable thing you can really get from doing anything that's hard. And recently, I've been going through a lot of hard times. I feel like I've been struggling emotionally, but I have been able to go back to my races, more specifically my latest race, which was a 100-miler around a month ago, and point to that and say that that's evidence that I did something challenging and I can overcome. It sounds really simple, but it's true, because we all have this devil on our shoulder that's telling us that we're not enough. It's telling us we'll never make it, telling us that we're weak, telling us all these horrible things. But I notice that if I am reaching goals and I have done a lot of work into bettering myself, that's evidence to combat that evil voice inside my head. I can look at this devil and say, okay, well, I did this, so maybe I'm not weak. If you want to become a guitarist, you play guitar and you prove to yourself that you're a guitarist. It's not necessarily about proving it to anybody else. And that's just the most rewarding thing ever, because it's really good to have evidence on behalf of you. And that just grows your confidence tremendously. Another super hard thing I was going through a few years ago is I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. But luckily, one of the last things I did before I ended up actually undergoing surgery and undergoing chemo was I ran a 50-mile race. And when I was running this race, I wasn't quite so sure if I had cancer or not. I had a couple of indicators that made me just aware of it. But when I actually went through all of those hardships, through chemo, through surgery, and all of that, I felt mentally prepared for it. I felt like I could treat it as just another obstacle to overcome, even though it's very serious. It's more serious than that. But I tricked my mind into just going, okay, if I did all these hard things before, I can get through this. And that kind of leads to my next point. I also had support and family to help me out through that. And I think that's so important. And it does relate to the whole ultra running community, because every race I've ever done, everyone is rooting for you. And I love that positivity. I feel like a lot of the times when we're starting something new and we're not really good at it, we can feel judged or looked down upon. But at the end of the day, my communities that I've been a little bit more involved in as of late at these races, they all just really want you to succeed. And I think that our head, and that, I guess, that devil on our shoulder is the voice that's fighting against that. But realistically, people are very supportive when you are in the right circles, and they will help you out. And if you win, they win too. And that's just a mind-blowing concept nowadays, because I feel like we're so divided, especially politically and whatnot. But the great thing about running is it's a community for all. And if you're honestly just pushing and doing your best, I think everyone else will actually look up to you because of that. It can be really hard to just look in the mirror and go, okay, I'm going to make a serious change about my life. But when you do, people will respect you. And maybe even more importantly than that, you will respect yourself. I guess that's pretty much the video for today. If you guys have any questions about my ultra running journey or any of my hiking, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, let me know if you would like to see any more videos like this, and I'd be happy to share some of my experiences with you all. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.